You might be on mute. How you doing, Captain?
Can y'all hear me now?
I can hear you now, Captain Tazaryach. How you doing?
I'm good to go. I'm trying to see. It wouldn't let me use my roadcaster, so I'm gonna just try to switch it back again. If it doesn't, I'll just do it this way.
Okay.
Cause y'all hear me okay, right?
Yes,
Yeah, I
we
can
can
hear
hear
you.
you fine and take your time. We're not in a
Oh,
super hurry.
just one more time.
And I thought you were going to be on your live longer.
Oh no, you said 8 o'clock, so that's why I said I was only gonna do it for an hour, so I didn't miss the time because I gotta get ready to catch a flight. So I only had an hour to do that one, and then an hour to do this one, and then
Okay.
yeah.
We won't use up the whole hour,
Yeah,
Captain.
we're gonna be mindful of your time.
Yeah.
We really
Oh.
appreciate you taking your time
Oh,
out.
no problem, man. When y'all said y'all wanted to do it, I appreciated y'all reaching out and wanting me to do it. So feelings mutual.
Okay. Just let me know when you're all ready. And then
Oh
let
yeah, I'm
me
ready. I'm
are
ready.
you ready? All right.
Yeah, I'm ready. Yeah, I'm ready for Freddie.
And we got people in the room. You have some people in the room already.
Mm-hmm.
This isn't typically a day we go live, so we should probably get more
Oh,
views.
I appreciate y'all doing it. So y'all did this for me?
Yeah.
Okay. I appreciate that. Thank you.
But Captain Zaryak, before we get started, I
Hmm.
got a young lion here.
Yeah, we got our young one. He's been following you for quite some
Long
time.
time.
So he
Oh,
wants to get
okay.
information.
And I just want to introduce you. And after the show, if you can give me the information or whatever it is I need
What
for
city was that
your,
again?
we're by Mexico City, Toluca.
Okay, I got you. I'm gonna look for it now, and then when I
But
get the information, I'll text it to you.
Sean, I'm gonna have you sit here and say hello to the captain, talk to him a little bit, and we're gonna get you hooked up with the captain here in Mexico so that we can get you all going with some type of academy.
And what I want to do real quick, this is our eldest son, Sean Simon.
What's going
He's
on,
going to be
Sean?
live today. But I
Okay.
did want to introduce our guest, Captain Tazaryach. I've been following him for quite some time, probably since 2016,
Okay.
15, those days. And he is captain at the ISUPK out
Mm-hmm.
in let me get this right, One West, right, in
Yep.
Harlem.
One West 120. Yep. 125th Street. Yep.
Yeah, so he is a Hebrew Israelite. We're going to go over some things. We're going to let the conversation flow smoothly. Uh, I wanted to talk about God's money and go over some scriptures, but any questions or wherever the conversation may go, we are okay with that. But I
Okay, that's
wanted to have
fine.
my my wife. She is the biblical scholar. I am just her student, so she will drive the conversation. I'm just here learning and
Right.
listening. I may have some questions, but she is the scholar who has the deep knowledge. And so she likes to listen to you and, and things like that.
I was
Okay.
gonna honor Second Timothy 2, so I was sitting in the back.
There we
I
go.
saw
I
you. I
just
listen,
meant
listen, listen, and listen. She did, and what? Here's what's beautiful about that, right? Because a lot of times whenever we hear like a sister has more knowledge than the husband, the sister usually is always up front on purpose. But what you did, which was so beautiful, and your dynamic worked so well, you immediately sat in the back, and it's only because he mentioned you and he brought you to the front that you then came up, and that's what we mean about having an order. You know what I mean? Like you subject yourself to your head, even though in that department you might be more wiser than him, and then him understanding that allowed you to come to the forefront, and that's what we talk about. So I appreciate that. So that's a good thing. That's not a bad thing.
Oh, definitely.
and we did it by accident.
Yeah. So
Didn't do it on
So
purpose.
So I'm gonna start. I was gonna start off with a couple questions for you. If the introduction I gave you, did you want to say anything about yourself I may have missed?
No, I usually just like to say, I'm Captain Tazaryach of ICBK, under Commander General Yohana. And that's usually how I just like to start. From there, it's organic. We just kick it and then just go from there.
Okay, so one of the first things I wanted to start with, if it's okay, so if our platform really talks about a variety of things, but a lot of it we talk about investing, Bitcoin, gold, and silver. And
Hmm.
so I was going to ask you because I know that you all in the ISUPK do a lot of work in the Black community. How important or is it for the Black community to have financial knowledge and financial education? Is that something that's prioritized? I understand that you say that, being organized and together and living by the book of Holy Scriptures, but what about the financial education part of
Yeah, I think that's important. Like Ecclesiastes 7:12 says, "For wisdom is a defense, and money is a defense. But the excellency of knowledge is that the wisdom giveth life to them that have it." So you do want to have the Most High first, but you don't want to not be what the term today is financial illiterate. You do want to be literate, so you know exactly what to do with your funds, how to spend them, how to build with them. So that is something that we stress as well.
it? Okay. And when you do stress that, do you have like classes or courses that you put the community in, or you have maybe somebody who is what we call an SME, a subject matter expert who takes care of that and is able to speak to the community and set them up and get them moving in the right direction?
No, mainly what we have is each zone. So, like in my zone in New York, we have a gentleman by the name of Captain Zakar. He's one that is financially, he would be what you call our financial go-to up here in New York. Philadelphia might have somebody different. Texas might have somebody different. California might have somebody different. And then we have somebody over the whole department or the whole treasury of the school that's in charge of it in whole. So I can't say that we necessarily have class, but we do have someone in each zone that if someone has questions on it or need guidance or instruction, that they're available.
Hmm. That's
Hmm.
interesting. That's definitely giving back to the community in that regard. Is
Right.
we were talking about earlier that because community is hard to quantify in this world nowadays because everything's so digital, we're kind of spread out and stuff like that. Um, because we haven't been in the United States for over probably 8 years, what does community look
Oh,
like? Is
y'all
it
ain't been over there in over 8 years?
yeah, nah, I don't go back. So
I go back and
she
forth.
goes back, I don't
Oh,
go
okay.
back, and
Why you don't go back?
um, I mean, and to be honest, my both my parents have transitioned, and I don't see
Okay.
a big reason to go back and things like
I
that.
got
So,
you.
and I'm here with the family. It's us two, and then we have four
Right.
sons. We have here, yeah. So I
Okay.
mean, our whole
That makes
family is
sense.
with us. Yeah. So I don't go back much, but I support her going back because she still has her mother in Florida. But I wonder, what does community look like over there? Like, is really physical when you go in the community? Are you really walking around and everybody lives there? Because our
Oh, no,
community
no,
is
no. Yeah, ours is different. So our community is mainly our organization. So we don't all some areas like Texas area, they kind of live amongst each other. But if you live in a city, we don't live in one central location. Our central location is
oh,
the school that we have. So the schools that we have become our central location, and then we work around the community of that school. So, like in New York, we work with the community affairs of the police department around that school. We do events around the school. But where I live in Jersey, nobody else is following what I'm following, so I wouldn't consider that a part of the community,
hmm.
if that makes sense.
So yeah, so kind of more of a digital community.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, and when I'm in Jersey, but the physical locations are allowed to work within the community, but even within that community, so like in Harlem, for example, everybody's not trying to be an Israelite. So we can only try to spread the word to them and do events with them and work with them to get them to follow being an Israelite.
Hmm. Okay. Now, I'm just going to ask one more question, then I'm going to let the scholar go in on you.
Okay,
Um,
no problem.
So one of the things that we do talk about, and I don't know how familiar you may or not be with this, we're big Bitcoin proponents, and one of the
Mhm.
big things about Bitcoin is freedom and sovereignty. So I know that you preach that freedom, unity, sovereignty amongst the community, right, of the Israelites. Is Bitcoin something that you think could help the Israelite community, or is that something that's not a priority right now?
I wouldn't necessarily say it's a priority because there's brothers in our school that actually invest in Bitcoin.
Hmm.
I have some, but I don't know enough about it to speak about it, and I don't know a lot of there's a I think we have a group chat where brothers talk about it. I used to be in it. I don't even know if I'm in it anymore. So I would see them talking about it. So I wouldn't. It's not high on our list as far as finances or anything like that. But there are brothers that do utilize Bitcoin. But I would put it in the minority.
In the minority. Okay.
Hmm.
All right. Well, thank you. I'm gonna get out the way and let the my beautiful wife, speak on her questions.
No
She
problem.
always got questions. She's ready. So,
No
um,
problem at all. I appreciate talking to you, brother.
oh, so did you want to start anywhere specific?
Yeah, so one thing I want to say, Capt Tazaryach, and watching your lives, listening to I hate when people come on there to argue with you because when you actually get to do an intelligent debate where you're learning and they're learning, I think we get a lot more. But you get a lot of people who just want to, you like the Mike Tyson of debates, they just want to beat you. So I'm glad that we have the opportunity to sit and to really talk with you because I feel like what you do in the community at the level that you do it is one, a rare jewel,
Most high and
one,
praise.
two, the discipline in what you bring to the environment, to the community. I'm a New Yorker, right? Now, I
Okay.
grew up on Long Island, but I kind of understand the New York culture. My husband's from Ohio. My son was born in San Antonio. So they don't get it like I get it. The amount of discipline that you're driving into the community with the New York state of mind, right? Shout out to Nas. So I want to thank you for that because it is difficult and it's young black men. And it's always really good to see the discipline because the narrative that gets put, across the board, social media, television, movies, music, is that our community overall is wildly undisciplined. It's
Mhm.
like a freaking Dionysus party. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just
Mhm.
debauchery at every turn,
Yeah.
especially in light of what we saw earlier this morning with Sean P. Diddy, Puffy, Puff Daddy, whatever we
Yeah.
call him today, Brother
Right.
Love. Like the charges he has against him is basically just one big target of a lack of discipline.
Mhm.
Right.
So
Definitely.
I
I
just
think
want to
this
start there and
discipline
say
is
thank
something we
you for
need.
that.
Yeah, discipline is
And you
like,
guys do an excellent job.
thank you, sis. I appreciate it. Like that's one thing that we strive for. Like even the scriptures say let all things be done in decency and order. So you can know all the scriptures in the world, you can be smart, but if you don't have no discipline and no order, it won't trickle down to everybody else. So the only reason that I'm able to be disciplined and in order is because that's what Commander General Hanna is. That's what the other generals are. And we try to let that ripple out throughout the rest of the community, but sometimes they just don't want to hear that. You know what I mean? So it'd be a struggle sometimes. So sometimes it's like, hey y'all, why don't y'all get in order? Why don't we sit down and have this conversation? But then they don't want to do it. Even when they see the failures of all the other, whether it's Israelite groups, whether it's churches, whether it's even like the Diddies and stuff like that, we can see the evidence of not being in order, but we never think, let me get myself in order. We always look at it like that's them, that's not me. And so the only thing we can do is go out and teach, which that's why I'm so active. So the only thing I can do is go out, teach, and let people see me in order, see that I got it from ISUBK, and then that brings them back here to get in order.
So the vision my husband has for this show, it's basically an economic discipline, but we also
Hmm.
talk a lot about productivity and like we said, the spirituality, because it all kind of ties together. So obviously you can tell because we've been following you for a long time that we like discipline. So one of the
Right.
things I would like to share with you today, because this is the second time I think I'm hearing you say that you don't necessarily have a firm handle on Bitcoin. And I just, wanted to kind of share some things about Bitcoin with you so that you can see the parallel between what the Most High had envisioned in the beginning
Hmm.
and what we have today, that is not that fiat currency that we walk around in our pocket, which is depreciating every day because it's basically an unjust scale.
Right.
So Bitcoin is really decentralized currency, and it relies on a very significant model of trust. So instead of being backed by a central authority, it has an encryption and a distributed ledger technology that's called the blockchain. This blockchain is a very transparent ledger
Hmm.
that everybody in the community can see.
Yes.
So it doesn't allow for backdoor dealings. It doesn't allow for, as you would well know, they're just printing money. They can spend it on whatever they want,
Yes.
go before Congress and the Senate and be like, we're not sure what happened to the $27 billion for this
Mm.
particular project. You see
Right.
that all the
Right.
time on C-SPAN. You can't do that with this technology. There are a lot of proponents in the community that see Bitcoin as gold 2.0. And we know gold is God's money. He talks about it constantly in the
Hmm.
scriptures. And it creates a paradigm of the vision that Yahuwah had in the scriptures. So I just kind of wanted to share that with you and the people who are watching so that we can come together and have a more holistic approach to A, our discipline, B, our economic, what would you call it, baby? Like our personal economic policies
So
as a
economic
people,
plan. Yes, indeed.
and as a community, so that we can bridge the two and two together. Quite
Hmm.
often, we see money always being separated from the Most High. And it's like, y'all keep separating it, and that's why we're having so much trouble.
Mm.
Everything has to go together. We're spirit and man, right? So anything we
Right.
have physical has to have a spiritual counterpart. And I've heard you talk about that so many times, and you do
Yes.
it so well.
Hmm.
Hmm. Yeah, you have to.
So it kind of to me compares to a biblical call for trust in a higher power rather than human institutions, because the blockchain is so transparent and
Hmm.
everybody can see the money moving on the blockchain. It's probably hard for you to picture if you've never seen, what's our website called that we look at?
Okay, that's
Right.
glassnode.com.
If you haven't
Yeah.
looked at Glassnode to
Yeah.
see the wallets moving,
Yeah.
go ahead.
When you get time, text me that, and then I can take a look at it.
Yeah. So one of the things I would like to ask, because she did bring it up, gold 2.0,
Mhm.
gold being the most high's money. Uh, what could what could you tell us about gold and silver being the money of the Most High?
And it's
I was gonna
instrumented.
ask y'all. I was
Go
gonna
ahead.
ask y'all to explain what y'all mean when y'all say gold being the Lord God's money. I don't know what y'all mean when y'all say that.
So in the scriptures, he often talks about money. So we have the 10 talents. We know that parable.
Hmm.
Um, Talent being the measure of silver, you guys. I think it's 75 ounces.
Okay.
If
Hmm.
75 ounces of silver makes one talent. And there was a specific
Yes.
parable where he gave the money out and one of the servants buried the money. And
Right.
I don't know if you remember, he was kind of like mad. He said,
Yeah, because
being
so Christ was
lazy.
mad. Yeah, Christ was mad because he like, why you didn't bring me a return on the gold? Like, why you
Hey.
didn't do that? Right. Hmm.
Mhm.
So
But
when we
like,
talk about,
yeah.
go ahead, Kat. No,
No, no,
you go
you
ahead.
got it. No, no, you got
Oh,
it.
but
Just go.
he constantly gives us these great parables
Mhm.
and allegories about money and the importance of it. It says, "Cast your bread upon the waters, and in many days it shall return." He does
Hmm.
give us very specific, I'm going to say, precepts to follow in being responsible stewards financially. And I noticed in our community, the narrative that they put out there, Captain Tazaryach, is that spend, 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 spend. Just make it rain everywhere, right? If you get some money in your hand, you want to have Louis Vuitton, you want to have the flyest shoes, you want to have the
Right.
25-inch rims, you want to have a better car. It's a lot of pushing the narrative of be as financially irresponsible as possible. With Bitcoin, however, it's a reverse or an inverse in teaching the community
Yeah.
on how, one, you can save your economic labor by maintaining your purchasing power,
Right.
right? But before I
Mm-hmm.
get to all of that, I did want to say the overall arching root thing is that we know that Yahuwah detests dishonest scales, right? So it says a false
Mm-hmm.
balance is an abomination to the Lord, but a just weight is his delight. Every single transaction is recorded and publicly accessible with Bitcoin. It
Mm-hmm.
reduces fraud, malpractice, corruption. You know that Old Testament talks about all of the bribes that Israel took, and that's what made him mad with them. Y'all act just like the heathen nations do, and I told you not to do that. We
Mm-hmm.
see the prophets like Eli. Remember, his sons were out there taking bribes and doing stuff in the sanctuary. And we have this instrument now that reduces and prevents that. It
Mm-hmm.
is literally moving according to the vision that he had in those scriptures, that God has in those scriptures. And it really aligns with the biblical principle of living that honest and accountable life.
Mm.
So I wanted to kind of share that with you as
Okay.
far as Bitcoin goes.
Okay. And
So,
that would be something that I would like to learn like more.
mhm.
I couldn't speak intelligently on it now because I'm a novice on that. But if you send me like that website that you just mentioned and send me some more information, I can read up
Oh,
on
for
it, and
sure.
maybe that'll help because when it comes to Bitcoin is like the boogeyman in the sense that we don't really know about it, at least for me anyway. You know what I mean? It's like the boogeyman is like Bitcoin, Bitcoin, Bitcoin. Like, it's like nobody knows where, like, y'all know because you said it, but when they say to me Bitcoin, like, I can't see money like that, but we don't learn, educate ourselves. So if you send me some good information to actually listen to, read, or investigate, then I might be able to have a different understanding of it. Because right now I don't understand it.
But what you can speak to, Captains, are because I've heard you talk about it, and I laugh when you do because it's the truth. The truth is,
Mm-hmm.
if you can just give the audience, who obviously a lot of the people on here, they're your followers, the things that got us in trouble to begin with,
Right.
Right.
right? When he told us to do certain things and we turned away from it. Some of the
Mm-hmm.
actions in imitating and emulating the heathen nations
Mm-hmm.
with the bribes, the corruption, and the money stuff, that is kind of what I would like for you to kind of talk about in like these today times. So,
Mm-hmm.
for instance, I don't know if you noticed, Capt. Tazaryach, but our government prints $1 trillion every quarter.
Mm.
Did you know that?
Mm-mm.
A
No, I
trillion.
didn't know that. Nope.
Where's the money going? Do you have it?
Yeah, I ain't
No,
Y'all got
got.
it over at
I
the
for sure
academy.
don't have it. I for sure. No, I don't have it for sure.
So think about how 1% has access to $1 trillion and 99% are like, where the money at?
Right. There,
Yeah.
you would want to know where the money is at. I know I would want to know.
So in that regard, so because I did want to, I had told you last time I talked to you, I had some verses I had pulled up and I wanted to ask you about in
Mm-hmm.
regards to wealth, but it's the same thing that she's talking about, and I would like to go over a few of these with you
Okay.
while we have you here. One of the ones I have been reading just right now, it's a very short one. Looks like Proverbs 11:4. Wealth is not profitable on a day of wrath, but righteousness rescue from death.
Mm-hmm.
So,
That's Proverbs 11:4. Right.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You amazing at that. I gotta get with you.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm sorry.
I know the word. I don't know where anything
Yeah,
is.
yeah. So I just wondered how would you see that? I mean, I understand how I perceive it, but I would like to hear your.
So when it's and so in Proverbs 11:4, when it says riches profit not in the day of wrath, but
Mm-hmm.
righteousness delivered from death.
Mm-hmm.
This is actually the opposite. This is more so your righteousness is more important than your riches,
Mm.
because the riches don't profit in the day of wrath, but
Mm.
righteousness can deliver you from death. And so we see that all the time where people put their strength in money. Look at Diddy, for example. Diddy put all his strength in his money, and that did not deliver him from the day of wrath, which is now he's in jail and can't get out. But if
Mm.
he was righteous, he would be delivered from death.
Mm-hmm.
So that's actually what that scripture is saying.
That's what that's saying. And
Mm-hmm.
I guess to follow up on that, I had this next one highlighted. 11:28, Proverbs 11:28. Anyone trusting in his riches will fall, but the righteous will flourish like
Mm-hmm.
foliage.
Mm-hmm.
So that's just
Facts.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
because you got to have both. You got to have, like, there's nothing wrong with getting riches. There's nothing wrong with, like, I have a business, so there's nothing wrong with making money.
mm-hmm.
But if you do it unrighteousness, or if you put your trust in that, like when in Deuteronomy 18, I think it's Deuteronomy 17, when it says when it talks about not multiplying wives to yourselves, it also talks about not multiplying gold to yourselves.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why it says that is that it doesn't turn your heart away. So this is Deuteronomy 17 and 17. It says, neither shall he multiply wives to himself, that his heart turn not away, neither shall he greatly multiply to himself silver and gold. And it's really a warning, because you can multiply a little bit of money, and if you're not keeping your heart content on the most high, you'll lose it.
Yeah.
Or you can have that a lot of money and your heart stay with the most high, and then you don't lose it. And so that's the point, of the Proverbs one that you pulled. It's about being more righteous than wealthy. You can get that wealth, but you still have to be righteous.
Mm.
Now, we also know that in the scripture that a lot of the Most High's people, like Abraham, was rich in livestock, gold, and silver.
Yes.
Job was very wealthy and even wealthier when all of the calamity had finished ensuing around him. Solomon,
Mm-hmm.
they said that Solomon, if they added it up, was more wealthy than Mansa Musa.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
If they
Okay.
if they did it time
Right.
equivalent, so you can have wealth and your heart. Well, we know Solomon's story, so we're not talking about that. But you can
No, but
have
yeah,
wealth
but
and not
yeah,
be
you
turned
can.
from the
Mm-hmm.
Most High.
Mm-hmm.
I do want
Right.
to, and reading the comments, so I just want to make a few things clear because some of these are not our audience.
Okay.
So Bitcoin is not, I don't, I don't think it is what you guys think it is, right? You're not giving anyone your money. If anybody tells you you can buy Bitcoin from me, they're liars. Okay, Bitcoin is it's an investment like Netflix or
Well, it's
right. It's an investment. You're not giving it to a person. And one of the things that we wanted to really talk about is we have a new paradigm of sound money that comes the closest we've ever seen in the history of money to the vision that the Most High had in the scriptures
yeah.
for our walk with money.
And
Does
just to
that make
clarify,
sense?
yeah, and I'll definitely clarify to simplify some of the things about Bitcoin. You will know that what they call Bitcoin, it is property in cyberspace for our investors, property in cyberspace. So know that if you have some Bitcoin and you sell it, you will not be taxed as capital gains tax. You will be taxed as if you sold a piece of property.
Right.
So the
Right.
IRS 2014 has already clarified that Bitcoin is property
Mm-hmm.
for investors. So if you could see it that way, if you had $10,000 to put down on a house, or you put in a Bitcoin, it's just property once you sell it for the gain. So no, it's not exactly what you were
I
saying.
just wanted to
I
make
can't see
sure.
the
I'm reading the
comments. I
comments. I
can't
just
see
want
them.
to make sure that there were some people who thought they were worried they were about to be scammed. We're not selling anything
No,
today,
no, no,
folks.
we're not
We're
selling
talking
nothing.
to Captain Tazaryach about we have this new paradigm of money. It's not the dollars that you're used to, but it has intrinsic properties that we believe the Most High would smile upon because of how it's based. It's an honest scale, right? This is why we're talking about the ability to see all of the transactions on the ledger, the inability to do backdoor dealing.
Yeah.
It either goes up. Now, everything kind of goes up, but unlike your dollars, it appreciates in value. I don't
So it
know if
goes
you guys
up.
know. I'm sorry, go ahead, Captain
You're
Tazaryach.
saying it goes up when you say it
It
appreciates.
appreciates in
I
value.
got you.
If you
Mhm.
looked at the chart, Captain Tazaryach, it looks like a living being.
Okay.
Whereas if you look at the dollars chart, it would be dead. It'd be clinically dead, right? We also work in healthcare, or we have a background in healthcare. We don't work in healthcare anymore. I work in tech now. But it's clinically dead and it's depreciating every day. That's why when you go to the supermarket, you notice that your groceries cost more and more. You go to the gas station, you notice you need more gas to fill up your vehicle. And Captain,
Right.
you stay in your vehicle. And I don't know what gas is in, in New York, but you stay in your vehicle, so you know what I'm talking about. Um, but when you look at, I just want to show you real quick what I mean about appreciation and depreciation, and why this is something that we believe that, like I said, the Most High would absolutely smile upon. Baby, if you can get me the iPhone chart, here it is. I just want to show you what we mean. So, like
Okay.
I said, when you go to the gas station, you notice you're going there more frequently, and you're paying more money every time you go. Supermarket, mortgages are going up. Rent, forget it. And I don't know what rent is in New York anymore, but I know it's nuts. My parents bought an
Yeah, it's high as hell.
$80,000 Cape Cod in West Hempstead, Nassau County, Captain Tazaryach,
Mm-hmm.
for $80,000 in 1983. In
Mm.
2005, they got $500,000 for that $80,000 house. Now, it's timing, so they did great. But imagine that the person who bought the house bought it for $500,000 and it's really an $80,000
Yeah,
house.
and that's the
You
bad
Mm.
part.
understand what I'm talking? You see what I'm trying to get at?
Right. Right.
Okay. So we're going to
So,
show you what Bitcoin actually does. I don't have the housing chart, but I have this other chart, and I just want to show you what I mean.
yeah, so I just to give context to the chart for people who are looking at it real quick, this is the cost of an iPhone denominated in Bitcoin. So we're going all the way back to the iPhone 4S, it looks like.
In 2011.
And I remember having that iPhone. And so back then, they don't give you the
It's
price of every,
2011. They
but
don't give you the price.
so it would take you 162 Bitcoin to buy an iPhone 4S. And we can go down the chart,
But let's just get to this
but
because you
let's
got to
get
go.
to it. The iPhone 16 that just came out, maybe 2 weeks ago, is 0.014 in Bitcoin. So that shows you, that gives you a different perspective of how the dollar is going down against Bitcoin going up. And not to, I didn't want to make it a technical show in that regard, but I
Right.
was going to ask you.
No, but you need that for me in some regard. Like when I say I don't know nothing, I don't know if what y'all saying is right or wrong. So I can only take the information. I can only take the information and then like investigate it. So showing something like this is a good comparative analysis. So that's
Okay.
not
I'm
bad.
going to show you an actual housing chart now, then, okay? So that you
Mm-hmm.
guys can see that in terms, everybody got a phone. So you understand that I need way less Bitcoin when you know that the phone costs way more than it did in
Yeah,
2011.
and that lets
So
you
now
know.
we're going to show you a real quick, like a housing chart. And this is what I mean when we say that we believe Yahuwah would actually be pleased at this new paradigm. So in 2017, I don't know if you guys can see this, you needed 125 Bitcoin to buy a house. In 2022, you only needed 20 Bitcoin. Notice that the purchasing power is actually more. You've saved that purchasing power because you need less Bitcoin
It's 5 times
in
more,
order to buy the same house.
almost 6 times.
Whereas in dollars, back in the day, you only needed 20% to put down on a house. In 2024, you need 42.5% to put down on a house to have a reasonable mortgage.
Mm.
So this is why we were kind of bringing it up to just kind of give some exposure, but to
Right.
show, like, in our scripture, he always wanted, you guys need to be accountable, you need to be transparent, and you need to be just, right? You're not out here trying to siphon and pray money off of the widows and so on and so forth. And Bitcoin so far has been demonstrating that
Yeah.
it saves your economic energy, meaning you don't have to work more hours to make more money. You actually work less hours in order to make more money when utilizing Bitcoin. Bitcoin is
Mm.
immutable, which is an attribute of the Most High,
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
right? Your dollar isn't. They change it to whatever they want to change it to, whenever they want to change it.
True
Um,
that. Yeah. So yeah. So that's why I was saying I would definitely take this information and look it up and then see where it goes. But I don't know what to say, to be honest. I can only, like I said, if you could send me the information to take a look at
oh,
it,
definitely
and then
send
I
it
Yeah.
to you.
yeah, then I can make a better, more intelligent response because I couldn't make a response. I couldn't say nothing negative or positive because I just don't know.
Well, I got this one. I guess it'd be a hard pivot. Is that what they call
Mhm.
it? About this question. Now, Cap, I have a soft spot for. I am a retired firefighter for Cincinnati Fire Department, blue collar worker, also
Mm-hmm.
a veteran of the military, and I have a soft spot for blue collar workers, right? Everybody's
Mm-hmm.
always, there's narratives out there. We need somebody. We need a six-figure man. We need this kind of things. All this stuff that we hear. And then you got people out here who do the work, just like you do the work in the community that doesn't really get the respect or maybe the shine that other things do. I need a lawyer, some kind of, real estate agent or a doctor and all this stuff. So I wanted to ask you about this very, very short. I was going to ask you about this Proverbs. Shoot, did I miss it? Why does a fool? Sorry, Cap. I didn't lost my.
No problem.
Okay, sorry. Proverbs 10. Idle hands
Mm-hmm.
make one poor, but diligent hands bring riches. So
Sister.
I know how I see that, but what do you think? Maybe I might be seeing it wrong.
What verse was that?
It's going to be Proverbs 10 and 4.
Oh, okay. Um. So my version is different, but it says the same thing. It said, "He becometh poor that dealeth with a slack hand, but the hand of the diligent make it rich." Now, this is actually talking about the work that you put in. So, and it's
Mm,
like anything. If you put in the work and you don't want to work, then you're slack or what they call lazy. So if you're not out there actually doing the work, you will be poor. It's almost like when somebody complaining about not having anything, but they're not actually going out there to affect the change to get anything. That's the slack or that's the poor. But then it says, but the hand of the diligent make it rich. So now you have an agenda where I want to live a certain way, I want to be a certain way. So the only way that I can get there is if I'm diligent in doing so. So this would be a
mm,
scripture promoting you to not be lazy, to be diligent, to work, to push forward, to be successful in whatever business you're gonna have, whatever job, whatever lifestyle you're trying to achieve. You can't be lazy trying to achieve that lifestyle. You have to be diligent. So this would be an actual verse that fits that.
And so also, because I seen it as somebody who might be lazy in their work in the Holy Scripture
Mhm.
and knowing the Most High,
Mhm.
and you'll be poor in that regard
Spiritually.
spiritually. And if you
Mm-hmm.
work diligently, maybe you will be rich spiritually.
Mhm.
Right. Yeah, it
Oh,
goes hand in hand. Yeah,
Mhm.
because
okay.
if you're rich spiritually, you'll handle your riches better.
Mhm.
So they
Hmm.
go hand in hand. Because being rich spiritually, meaning your mind is clear, like in First Timothy, the Lord has not given us the spirit of fear, but a sound mind. So now, if you have a
Hmm.
sound mind, a sober mind, or a clear mind, then your
Hmm.
goals are easily met. Now, if your mind is lazy, if your mind is clouded, if your mind is distracted, or anything like that, then your
Yeah.
goals won't be met.
Mm. Okay. And
So,
that's what I was thinking. And that's a great. I've just
mhm.
been reading over these. Like I said, I'm a student, so I still read
Right.
over this stuff and try to interpret it. And then I also love to hear, teachers, master teachers, give their
Hmm.
explanation of it because
Mhm.
it helps me to see maybe a different perspective of what I'm actually reading and learning every day.
No problem.
So I didn't mean
Also,
to cut you up. Did you
I
have a
sent the
one you
number.
wanted?
Yeah, I text you the number for Mexico as well. I sent it to your phone, just so you know.
Mexico. Okay.
Um, If you wanted to buy Bitcoin, how do I do it? How much is it using dollars? Michael Love, if you go in our drop down, I have an email address. If you have Cash App, that would be the fastest
Yeah, that's
way
the
to get
easiest way to
started.
do it.
And that way, you know, you're not giving your money to someone. You're actually investing it in Bitcoin. But we could actually have like a one-on-one and we can really talk to you about it before you get, you know, started. So you can have an understanding as to what you're doing. But the last thing I want to say, and then I'm going to let you go, Cap, because it's almost time for you to leave. Don't you think poverty is evil? When you hear people tell you, I work 2 jobs, I work 3 jobs, I work 80 hours a pay period, I work 95 hours per pay period, and I'm
Yes.
still barely making ends meet. There is something evil and detestable about
It
that.
is. And can I read this real quick? Just because you just brought that up. Deuteronomy 15:7. If there is a poor person among you, one of your brothers, within any of your city gates in the land Lord your God is giving you, do not be hard hearted or tight fisted toward your poor brother, which she is saying.
But it also goes into the other one, right? Your hands aren't idle, right? You're working 2 and 3 jobs and you're
Yeah,
barely making it.
barely.
And we're hearing more and more people saying they are making the most money they've ever made before and they're barely
Mhm.
making it. There's something wrong with that.
Yeah, a lot of that will probably come into, well, first the part about poverty. Poverty is something that if we was running as a community, it wouldn't be no poverty, even if somebody wasn't making it. Like you could see that in Acts, I think it's 4th or 5th chapter, when they would give everything that they had to Peter, and then Peter would divvy out to the families how they saw fit. So we've been more community. And that's the main thing. That's the wisdom that we're lacking. The wisdom, I think one of the scriptures we was reading about righteousness help you survive death. So the reason why we're struggling out there because we're not being righteous with our money. You take them people that working them 80 hours when they getting paid. If we go into how they're managing their money or what they're doing with their money, we'll find some sin that they're doing. That's why they're struggling. And so that's what plagues us a lot of the time. So our righteousness has to be corrected first before we can fix any finances, any afflictions, any sins that we have. If we don't get back to being righteous first, then we still remain poor spiritually. Remember, I think y'all had said earlier, which I agree, if you're spiritually right, then you'll be economically right. But you got to be spiritually right first. So as long as we're spiritually right, I think everything else falls into place.
Okay, and just I know we keeping very mindful of your time. Our eldest son, he had 2 questions for you, so I'm gonna.
Yeah, that's fine. Is he ready?
Yeah, he's ready. He's
Yeah,
okay.
where's his questions? Let me get his
Just right in
questions. What's
the back.
going on, brother?
There we go.
How you doing, Cap?
I'm good. What's going on, brother?
2 questions, just 2 questions. I'm also new. I would say relatively new to what we call the truth, which would
Right.
be the Hebrew Israelites. So I just have 2 questions from what I understand. So first, do you believe that sex is marriage?
Sex. Okay. Sex is marriage throws people off. So a better way to say it is that sex consummates the marriage.
Uh-huh.
Meaning, like, let's say if you're dating somebody or courting a woman, as long as you're courting and you have not had sexual intercourse with her, you can end that courtship and she can go court another man. You can go court another woman. But if you have sexual intercourse, you have now become one flesh, and you can't tell her, okay, yeah, I had sex with you. You can go sleep with someone else.
Hmm.
So sex consummates the marriage is the better way to say it.
So, young man, are you telling me you're married or something?
No.
Okay.
Okay, I have a question.
All right.
Okay, so but it goes into the question. But it goes into the question. Okay, so if sex consummate the marriage, if hypothetically, I'm using me for example.
No.
If
Okay.
I were to, it's just so it's clear. So it's clear. If I were to meet a woman and she had sex with someone before me, is that adultery? That's what I want to know.
Okay. So now, what we always do, Christ said in John the 3rd chapter that you must be born again.
Mm,
So if a woman or man becomes an Israelite and they come into the truth and they are born again, they never had a husband. They never, if they're single. If they come in single now, when I'm saying single, single in the American way, single because they didn't get a certificate of marriage, single because they had a boyfriend but they broke up or something like that. But when you get the knowledge of the truth, What you do after you get that knowledge is what you're held accountable to. So, like the book of Hebrews, the 10th chapter says, if you sin willfully after you got the knowledge of the truth, there remaineth no more sacrifice for sins. So, in your scenario, you meet a sister, you meet a girl, and as you're talking to her, you know that she was in a previous relationship. Your job is to teach her the truth of what a relationship actually is and what it means if we lay down together. And then now that you've taught her the truth, yeah, that's your job because you know she don't. Let's say if it was reversed, and let's say if the woman knew and the man didn't, it's her job to educate her because one knows the truth, the other doesn't know the truth. So whoever knows the truth or has that understanding has to teach the other. If not, that sin is on you. So if you don't teach her the truth and you sleep with her and throw her away, her sin is now on you. But if you know the truth and then you sleep with her and stay together, now the two of you have become one flesh.
Okay. And when you say throw away, what do you mean by that throw away?
Meaning you sleep with her and say, I don't want to be with you no more.
Okay.
After you done slept with her.
And then Judah is not supposed to intersect with
Okay. I just wanted to.
Issachar, right?
That was my question.
That's okay. Judah, I heard her say Judah can't intersect with Issachar. That's not true. When in the book of Numbers, when it talked about the inheritance, so in the nation of Israel, you couldn't lose your inheritance. So let's say at the time, I think the tribe of Dan, there was some women where the father only had daughters. And so because they only had daughters, he knew that when she married a man, she would lose, the father knew that he would lose the inheritance. So Moses put in the law that in those instances, you do not lose the inheritance. But any Israelite can marry within their tribe. You see that Saul was a Benjamite. He had David married Saul's daughter. David was a Judite. So
That's
a
true.
Judite and a Benjamite married. So you can marry within the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel.
Oh.
Okay, and so just for my son, so it makes him feel better. We are in Mexico, so he's kind of worried about marrying
No,
a
he
Mexican.
fine with the Mexican. Just make sure they're not a Spaniard Mexican. Just make sure they actually are ethnic Mexican.
Okay,
That's
but
what
that's
it
the
was.
new question. Like, how would you know that
You
if
can
she's
just ask them.
She's
Don't be afraid to ask. Just for your father a Spaniard, especially if you're in Mexico, they're gonna know. If you say, was your father a Spaniard or was he like ethnic Mexican? Or you could even say Afro Latina.
Uh-huh.
Like if you say it like that, they'll tell you. And as long as they Afro Latina, something like that, you straight.
Okay, so if he's white, if he's European, Spaniard, no, it's a
Yeah,
no
if
go.
he's European or something, you don't want that.
Okay.
No, you can't lay with that. But outside of that, you see the Mexican sisters, they the Israelite, they Israel. You all right.
but they're idolaters.
Oh, let's see. Yeah, she says they're idolaters. It
Horrible.
appears to be. And
Well, that's the most important part. Like you don't want to like when you get with anybody, whenever two people get together, you're always gonna intermingle your lifestyle.
Yeah.
So now let's say you meet half of these Mexicans are more than likely Christians, more than likely go to Sunday church and all that stuff. So just like I used to go to Sunday church and then I
Mhm.
found the truth and then I stopped. So in that courting phase, you do not want to join yourself to somebody that's an idol worship. So you don't want to have sex with a woman if she's not going to believe what you believe. You want to have sex with a woman that's going to believe the same thing that you believe.
okay.
Because what happens is, let's say you marry somebody that's a Christian and December 25th come up, Christmas tree coming in the house, and you like, I don't want that in the house. You just created an unnecessary problem.
Yeah.
You start talking about the Easter bunny. You don't want to do no Easter bunny, but you done had sex with the Easter bunny coming. It's better to find, and you'll be surprised when you be up front with a woman and tell her exactly what you believe in. The woman that sides with what you believe in, that's the one the Lord sent you. The one that wants to get you to keep following and obeying what she believes in, that's the one Satan sent you.
Okay. Makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense. And he's a young man out here in the world getting his feet wet as far as that
Right.
goes, women
Not
and
too
stuff.
wet. Don't jump all out in there in that deep water. Don't.
It's not too wet. Yeah, we gotta be easy, be easy.
Yeah, get you a life preserver, man. Wade in that water. You know what I mean? Don't go
And
deep diving in the
so,
water.
and her mother, his mother, she wants to keep the bloodline pure and clean, and she does
Yeah,
keep
long as
speaking
it's
it.
Israel,
That's
it's
that's
that way. Long as it's an Israelite,
yeah,
that bloodline is pure.
yeah, and
Long as
she's
it's an
speaking
Israelite.
it existence of a grandchild. So everybody else
Yeah,
is
that
nervous.
grandchild gonna be an Israelite.
Everybody else nervous.
Yeah, I'm not ready for that.
So yeah,
My
yeah.
last question. My last question.
Go ahead.
The last question.
He about
And
to
what
go
would you
off there.
suggest? Where would you suggest? Let's say, for example, a young man to meet a good woman. You said a good one, a one that God has given, not Satan, of course.
That's a subjective question because you can meet your woman anywhere. I would more so want to warn you, like you want to be careful of online. You want to be careful not, and this is not saying that it can't happen in these places I'm going to mention, but this is where you want to be more on guard about. Because like if you meet a woman online and y'all communicating, a lot of men have been in her inbox, so you want to be wary of that. If you at the gym, a lot of men is hitting on the same woman at the gym, so you want to be more on guard. You definitely don't want to meet them at the club because they talking to all type of women at the club. But you could. So you want to more so don't think about where you should. Just look at the opportunity that presents itself. So if the Lord sends you a righteous sister, you want to take advantage of the opportunity. You want to vet the person. You don't want to fall in love all easily. You want to see if they're about the most high, see if they what their ambitions are. You want to go into, did they grow up in a two-parent household? You want to see if their father was around, if their mother was around, what they do for a living. Like you want to do that wherever you meet somebody at. You don't want to fall like BBD say. You don't want to trust a big button to smile. Long as you avoid that, you should be good to go.
Mm.
Okay. Thank
And
you.
then, and that's great information, Cat. We know you got to get out of here. We know you're busy. We
Mm-hmm.
definitely gonna reach out to you again to have some more
Yeah, I
dialogue.
appreciate it, and don't forget to send me that information too.
Yeah, and we definitely gonna take care of you. Just you send me your information, I'll take care of you.
Okay.
We appreciate all the information, the teaching. We're gonna follow you. We're gonna be on top of everything you're doing this weekend, and still be on your
Okay.
lives. I was on there this morning,
Yep. Yeah,
super early
I'll be teaching from Austin on Thursday.
from Austin. Oh, Austin, Texas. Okay, and then
Mm-hmm.
always, man, if you ever make it to Mexico, we always tell people, we down here,
Yep,
we
I'll let
down.
you know if I'm ever getting down there to Mexico. I got a passport, so if I'm ever getting down to Mexico, I'll let you know.
All right, so we're gonna let you go. We definitely appreciate everything,
No, no problem.
everything.
I appreciate y'all having me on as well.
We're gonna stay on a little longer just to answer some of the
Okay,
chat. And but thank you for joining us this night.
no
Thank you.
Thank you,
problem at
Captain.
all. Y'all take it easy. Shalom.
All right.
I think we go to the parent.
Yeah, chat was tripping, man. They told Sean to hit it quick.
Um,
I said chat was
a
tripping.
lot of you had questions, I guess, on Bitcoin and what exactly it is. In the drop down, we have our email. If you have questions, we do, we'll talk to you about exactly what it is. But this is what our show does. It's called Assets and Arbitrage. We talk about as a community ways that you guys can invest, save on your economic labor,
Mm-hmm.
increase your purchasing power, meaning instead of relying on a dead dollar, you're able to invest in something that actually appreciates. Michael Love, we live in Mexico because the economy in Mexico is cheaper than the economy in America.
Yes.
It has the same exact lifestyle, right? As a matter of fact, our lifestyle is way better because it's cheaper. And we aggressively invest our disposable income.
Yeah, and it's healthy. It's more organic, as people would say. I've been here 8 years now, almost 9,
Mm-hmm.
and I think I've lost over 65 pounds. And not because I was hitting the gym super hard or running or dieting. It's just the food is healthier. You should talk about when you eat certain things. There's no antibiotics in it. Is that what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That right?
They don't
Yeah,
have the antibiotics. They don't
yeah,
have all of that junk in it. They're president won't allow their citizens to
Yeah.
be destroyed with the chemicals that the United States puts in their foods.
And so, that's
Right.
part of your lifestyle is, are you healthier? As Black people, we know what comorbidities are for us. Comorbidities are things that kill us, being overweight, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, diabetes. These things are comorbidities for Black people. And as you see in the United States, a lot of people are obese, and, not judging them, physically, but just saying it's a comorbidity to be obese, and things hit you harder than they would if you were in better condition physically, right? Um, so it's healthy in some of these other places. We eat very healthy, some kind of green plant life lifestyle. That's her call, plant life. A little bit of fish every now and again. We drink a lot of water, and it just keeps us vibrant, keeps us alive. Keeps us shining.
Somebody asked, how is Bitcoin better than regular stock?
Oh man, that's a long answer.
Give them a concise one.
Concise answer is Bitcoin does not have counterparty risk. So what counterparty risk means is you have somebody in a stock who's running that stock. So for example, if you use Apple, their CEO is Tim Cook. He is running the stock. He is in charge of the stock. Anything that he does or decides can make the price go up and down, right? Bitcoin, there is nobody running Bitcoin. So you don't have to wake up in the morning and see that somebody did something to Bitcoin. Bitcoin does what it does. But stuff like Apple, people take, we was talking about it earlier, people sell shares of their stock and drop the price, right? At Tim Cook. So as a CEO, you can sell shares of your stock at the end of Q4 so you can have a tax break. Now, if you as a investor don't know that Tim Cook, the CEO of Apple, is going to sell, then when he does sell, the price gets pushed down immediately and you take a loss. And you got it, that goes for all companies, Elon Musk, whoever's CEO of companies, this goes for these companies. So in that regard, Bitcoin cannot be manipulated. It cannot be manipulated like other stocks can be manipulated. So
there's no backdoor dealing. There's no insider trading.
Not saying that you shouldn't have stocks in your portfolio. Just understand the different problems that you may have if you hold some stocks, if you hold different things. You guys remember the different things that happen if you follow Tesla, because we were in Tesla investors and we knew the different things Elon Musk was doing, just kind of out of nowhere. If you guys remember, Elon Musk got into Bitcoin, stock went way up. And then out of nowhere, Elon Musk liquidated his Bitcoin, stock went down. And that's the counterparty risk that we speak of, because you don't know that Elon Musk is going to sell his Bitcoin. It's not, we're not privy to it. And so that's the thing, counterparty risk. You got to watch because these people, they're not looking out for the small fish like us.
They said, okay, understood. That's great.
Okay, thank you.
If you guys have any additional questions, this is our show.
Yeah.
Our Twitter is on there. Our Facebook's on there. Our YouTube is on there. We have, I don't know, there's about 200 shows. Our shows are typically about an hour to 2 hours each of information about Bitcoin and how it helps us. I'm going to tell a quick story and then I'm going to let you guys.
But remember, this is the Bible scholar, similar to the captain. So if you got biblical questions, hit her up as well. That's her wheelhouse. She loves that. So if you got biblical questions and stuff and things like that, she's on that game too.
I am no Captain Tazaryach. I learned from him as well. But I've been studying it for over 20 years and I work very hard to ensure that our household walks by that book. So even though our young one is not yet, he's working on being a Hebrew Israelite. And I'm hoping Captain Tazaryach will help me get him over the finish line. We ensure that these men call upon the name of the Lord. That's how we roll.
That's what it is.
You're going to walk it. You're going to talk it. You're going to be it. The last thing I want to say is that my husband almost died in July.
Oh my goodness. They keep telling people. They keep telling people.
So for real, my husband almost died in July. and we live in Mexico. He was in the ICU. He was in critical condition. And we've been investing in Bitcoin, right? It was the Bitcoin that I was able to cash out and pay a 12 plus $1,000 ICU bill out of pocket in a 10-day period.
Yeah, so over here, healthcare is a little different. You got to pay out of pocket and things.
You guys should have access to the drop down, but maybe not. I don't know if it's going to allow me to put it in the chat because they're links. They're
Yeah.
considered links. But we are Simon Family Investment Ventures that I can put in the chat. Simon Family.
And while she puts that in there, she's right. She did liquidate Bitcoin to pay my hospital bills. And it took
I wasn't stressed about the money.
It took the stress off of her.
I was able to take care of the household for him while he was in the hospital. The children didn't miss a meal. As a matter of fact, because there was technically excess money, in order to bring up their morale, I took them shopping and bought all of the stuff I would typically say no to.
So I was in the hospital for 2 weeks, and I came home, and everybody had new stuff. Cats had new Jordans on. I'm like, hey.
But Simon Family Investment Ventures, you can find us on Twitter. You can find us on YouTube. You can find us on Facebook. I'm just Aaron and Simon. Once this publishes, you should be able to get the drop down and click on those links in order to kind of watch the videos and get an understanding on what we're talking about. But like I said, you're not paying this to anybody.
No.
It is an investment. Like the story of the 10 talents, instead of taking your dollar and burying it in the ground and hoping for the best, you're actually taking it and investing it and getting a return on it.
And remember,
it's going to grow where your dollar is dying.
And remember, you can always reach out to us. I will walk you through step to step, and I'm not going to ask you for a fee
We
or
don't
nothing like that.
Ever sell you anything.
I'm not going to ask for your phrase word keys.
We don't ask for anything. We don't sell anything. We don't ask for anything.
I just handle it. I'll take care of it. Make sure that you guys can get through it and make sure you get started, because that's the biggest thing, is getting started. And once you get started, you kind of figure it out and you get going. But if you need help, reach out to us. I'm here. I got time.
And it's our community service.
Yeah, I got time. I'll talk to you. I'll sit there on the phone with you for hours, and we'll go through different things and figure out what's the best solution for you. I'm not a financial advisor, but I'm not even talking about advising you as far as investing as much as just getting you started. What we call on-ramps, right? If you're like, where's the best place to buy Bitcoin? Yeah, I can get you straight on an on-ramp, get you set up so then you can handle your business moving forward. And I'm here for that. Just call me, send me an email, say when you want to talk. We'll talk. We'll sit and talk. We'll chop it up, and she'll jump in, and she got the scripture knowledge, and it's a comprehensive conversation.
But I do respect Second Timothy 2. Y'all look that up, see what I mean.
2 Timothy 2.
They don't know what it means.
Okay, well,
All right. Shalom, shalom, shalom. Thank you guys for joining. Thank you for listening. Any of you have questions, we are here. We do community service as well. And we appreciate the time you took to listen to our show with Capt Tazaryach on it as well.
Yeah.
For the New Yorkers, there is a physical resource. BK Crypto was on earlier. I don't know if he's still on, but BK Crypto has a physical group there in Brooklyn. They do, I call it footwork, but they also will invite you to physical meetups if that's something that the New Yorkers need. Like, I like the digital thing, but I want to go somewhere and sit down and talk to somebody face to face.
BK Crypto, shout out to him and his group.
Dylan, Rashana, NCB, Kimberly. So we can put the New Yorkers in touch with a physical resource if you have questions about Bitcoin, how it works, how to get started, and just hearing people's personal testimony about not breaking your back at work in order to establish a retirement, establish a cushion, and to have disposable income. You guys, so I'm not really sure the paired channels. They're asking what is the channel on the email.
That's probably
It won't allow me to
gentleman.
put an email on the chat. Let me try it.
It
Let's
might be
try
a
it.
gentleman's channel.
Assets.
So she gave you
Arbitrage.
our personal YouTube channel. We are also on another network. It's called Gentlemen of Crypto. Gentlemen of Crypto Network, which is a network of Black people who talk about cryptocurrency. And you can check that out. That's where our videos are as well. So that's always a good channel to look at. And there's other people on that network who give great information. We try to give a myriad of information, right? We talk about crypto, we talk about investing, we talk about gold, silver, but
And
then
we talk about the spiritual aspects of all of that because
Yeah.
we are both spirit and being,
Yeah.
and we need to make sure that
So we
the Most High is involved in all of it.
So we mix it together and give people a good, I think, experience and understanding. So if you guys, you check us out and pop in and ask questions and email us, do all that
We
stuff.
answer every
Do all that
single email. It's assets.arbitrage@gmail.com. I did put it in the, I don't know that it went. It says it did. Assets.arbitrage@gmail.com. My name is Erin. This is my husband, Simon.
Yeah.
We answer every single email. We do face-to-face, right? If you said, let's get on a call, we'll get on a call face-to-face and answer every single question you have about your economic discipline, how to get back on track,
like we said,
household budgets, whatever it is
stuff.
you need for free.
And remember,
that's our community service.
As I said to the captain, it's gone as far as people that we come across have actually come down to Mexico City, and we've hosted them and showed them around. And
pick them up from the airport, show them around, take them on a tour.
Yeah, we've done everything. So, we're here for the community.
That's our community service for the Most High as well.
Service, yes. And because being out here in Mexico, we don't have a lot of interaction with our own people.
None.
So we have to do it kind of digitally like this online.
Yeah.
So we do as much as we can for our own people.
The tribe of Issachar take care of Issachar. They don't care about Judah. So we try to get back with the tribe of Judah and see how we can help them. Y'all get what I'm saying?
Where the Capt at? He done gave my son the okay to marry a Mexican.
He didn't know. I'm glad he because I thought that they couldn't intersect, but he corrected, so that's good to know.
What you think's my son about to go through?
I don't know that my email is going to go through because they usually don't like that. Asset.
Yeah, they don't.
Hold on, I don't think it likes it. And that's why you guys aren't seeming to get it. I hate that. Assets. Let me try it one more time.
This man then told my son, go ahead and marry
It's
him.
assets.arbitrage, ARBITRAGE @gmail.com. But once this publishes, the drop down will show up, you guys. All of the information is in the drop down. I'm thinking you can't see it because of the way Restream Bridge, Capt Tazaryach's social media with ours. Yeah. So I'm sorry that you guys can't see it, but I did put it in the chat again. The info's not posting in the chat.
Yeah. This is the first time we talked to him, so next time we'll make sure the bridge is a little crisper, where all the information will go from one side to another. But yeah, it should be in the drop down.
But just search Simon Family Investment Ventures on YouTube. Mm-hmm. That should show up. If you just search Simon Family Investment Ventures in YouTube, that'll bring our show up. Yeah. And all of those drop downs have the email. If you guys we want to call, we want a face-to-face call. I'm somebody, I want to see the white of your eyes. I want to see if your spirit is telling my spirit the truth. Just put Instagram again. I don't use Instagram.
Oh, I was going to say, if you do Twitter and Facebook, they can just go find you right there because you're getting the shows right there too.
What do you mean?
So you can just put Aaron Simon on Twitter. They'll find you. They put Aaron Simon on Facebook.
No, you remember my Twitter is a weird, stupid... Bro, cut it out. You remember my Twitter is that long, Aaron Sim, If you guys just Simon Family Investment Ventures and search it in YouTube, it will bring up our YouTube. It'll bring up these shows, all of these shows. You can watch the shows. because we talk about Bitcoin, how to get started and stuff like that. But if you have very specific questions, you like, I want to cut through all the fluff, just grab our email off of the drop down from that search, and we'll set up a time to sit and talk to you like we're talking right now.
Yeah, most definitely.
I bet that was easier.
And remember,
Capt Tazaryach's crowd is hilarious. Y'all are New Yorkers, I know it.
yeah, remember Aaron Simon on Facebook will give you a large drop down.
I'm the only black Aaron Simon.
So after the live, if she goes live, you'll see the large drop down in all her contact information.
But I am the only black. All the other Aaron Simons are of white descent.
Yeah, so you can always reach us that way. And like she said, we're happy to sit down face to face, eye to eye contact.
But y'all look into it, right? Because you guys have come into the truth. And the Most High had a vision on how he wanted us to walk, how he wanted us to take care of things financially, how he wanted us to interact with one another financially. And Bitcoin is that paradigm. So all we're asking for you to do is look into it. If you like it, great. If you don't like it, no sweat, no problem. Simon Family Investment Ventures. Yes, Michael Love. That is it. If you just search it in YouTube, all of these shows would come up.
And you know,
somebody's in Louisiana. Shout out to Louisiana.
Yeah, shout out to Louisiana.
Shout out to Dallas.
Shout out to Louisiana. You going to the Super Bowl this year? No, I'm joking.
But thought you was going to see Wayne. Y'all going to see
remember,
Kendrick.
If we will definitely talk about things on a very spiritual level, but we also do the deep rabbit hole dive.
Which is still spiritual.
Spiritual, but some of the stuff couldn't sound crazy.
Baton Rouge.
But, you know, we are here for those type of conversations where you can really dig deep into some conversations spiritually, politically, financially. We here. We got it. We got a nice array of things that we can chop it up with you about.
But we understand that we don't wrestle against flesh and blood, but against the spirituality.
Yes.
And the evil things in high places. So that's why it's very important that we always marry the two, right? Because the two are really one. So we love you guys. We don't want to keep you a minute longer. There you go, BK Crypto. There you go. Okay. So BK Crypto just said we're here in Dallas. This is a physical group from New York, from Brooklyn, for my New Yorkers. Shout out to my New Yorkers. That we will definitely put you guys in touch with if you want that more physical face-to-face meetup. We will make sure we get that going. They are an educational group. They also have great swag. They do wonderful work. Where we really, really enjoy our partnership. Again, we're not selling anything. We don't get paid to shout out BK Crypto, but he's our the group, our brother in arms in education.
And we do from time to time speak on. We have been married for 24 years.
We've been married for 24 years. Y'all be 24 years in January.
So we do speak on relationships and things like that,
as
marriage
well.
And being parents and stuff like that as well. So that's why I said we speak on a few things.
Walking out the scripture best as we can. We're not perfect, but best as we can.
Yeah.
But we are going to let you go. We love you guys so much. And we love the new family. Shout out to the tribe of Judah.
Yes.
We love new family. We're always looking for new family. And if you guys have any questions, I gave you all the ways you can get in touch with us. This won't be the last time we get in touch with Capt Tazaryach, because, you know, we're trying to get the young lions disciplined and in the truth and in order. Y'all like the one-stop shop. What's wrong with Mexican women? There's nothing wrong with Mexican women, Adolphus. There's nothing wrong with them. I thought, though, that Judah wasn't supposed to, you know,
with Issachar?
Yeah, we weren't supposed to mix with Issachar. Capt Tazaryach, he's, you know, he would know better than me. I was just asking, and we are in Mexico.
He gave our son the green light.
We have 4 sons. So as their mother, I want to make sure that the bloodline remains clean and intact. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Right? As a mother, I'm constantly praying. I'm looking at things with spiritual eyes. One thing that is wrong with here in Mexico is that they are idolaters. It's statues and graven images everywhere all the time. So, you know, I just want to make sure my sons are in order, but there's nothing wrong with them. There's nothing wrong with them at all. Now that I know that the tribes can mix, we're good.
Yeah, there's really nothing wrong with them.
Dad said it.
Yeah.
Dad said it.
Yeah. So, is there any more questions or any comments or
They
anything?
worried about him mixing with the tribe of Issachar. They don't care about the
Oh, okay.
Bitcoin.
Well, yeah. Yeah, I mean, we're here. We've been here since he's 23 now, so we've been here since he was 15.
16.
So he hasn't really had opportunity to date.
Sow your own seed. Right.
He hasn't had the opportunity to date, quote unquote, I guess we call black women.
And that's not that don't look so great right now either. Let's be honest.
But the woman he's dating now is a Afro Latina.
Yeah.
Which is
very nice girl.
That's a long conversation, but it's just a darker Mexican.
Yeah.
Who has probably closer ties, more melanin.
She's brown with straight hair. Beautiful. And she's a very nice girl. So I don't have issues. But now that Captain Tazaryach put some of my apprehensions at rest, I'm good to go. What a cool family. Thank you, Adolphus. We try.
Oh, you should see the rest of our sons.
But I didn't know that the 12 tribes could intersect. I thought we were all supposed to stay in our own lane. So it's good to know that they can, right? It's the nation. So I had that misunderstanding that Captain Tazaryach cleared up. Yes, he did. He cleared it up.
Yeah, so I'm happy to hear that because that's the only women he has opportunity at.
Right, we're in a place where.
Yeah. But we're from the same tribe. That's what they tell me.
We are from the same tribe.
And then our 4 sons, we got 3 others. So we got 4 sons, 23, 16, 13.
Well, 14 because he's next month.
He's 14 and then 7. Mm-hmm. So they're at a basketball game. We're going to go to their basketball game real quick.
Do you trade Bitcoin? We do not trade Bitcoin. We're hodlers.
I'm not a fan of trading Bitcoin. I'm a fan of investing in Bitcoin and then you can sell for profits. But the grandbabies,
he said, Mama wants you the grandbabies. Yes, I do.
Yeah, she do. I'm not a fan of trading Bitcoin because it's so volatile.
Yeah,
and you got to really be good at what you're doing to trade Bitcoin. I would think so. It's a thing. If you guys catch some of our shows, this is a thing we call low time preference, which just means a longer time. Let the Bitcoin sit and don't try to trade it real quick. Don't let it grow because I've been in Bitcoin since $250, and it's when I checked this morning, it was $61,000. So over time, it will grow.
It's
if you just sit back and relax,
right?
It'll be good.
It's like trying to pick a fruit before it comes into its due season.
Yeah.
Right. So we let that tree grow. We let the fruit come into its due season, and then we enjoy the fruits of our labor. So we hold it. We hold it.
Yeah, we hold it. I could take this computer in the closet and show you all the fruits which turn into purses of our labor.
No, they don't.
That's what they turn into.
No,
but I mean, I can show you the fruit that we picked from the tree is a Gucci purse. It's
they
a nice
do not
purse
turn into Gucci purses. Don't listen to him.
Yeah, so they be fruit. It's fruit.
But they pay ICU bills. I know that.
See, there you go. See, if we would have had no Bitcoin, I probably would have just.
Oh no, we would have been in trouble right now.
So
don't
Bitcoin,
even bite your tongue.
We do have a show on our page called Bitcoin Saved My Life, and we really talk about. We go intricately into what happened to me, and it wasn't nothing bad. I mean, I can go into it real quick. I just had a really bad infection from salmonella poisoning, and it infected my liver and affected my kidney. And then I needed what do you call it? Emergent blood transfusion.
Yeah.
So it wasn't nothing bad. It wasn't like I got shot or I had cancer or anything. But yeah, I had salmonella poisoning, and it was my fault because I let it linger too long. Right? If I would have just got it fixed in the first 2 to 4 weeks, everything would have probably been cool. I let it hang out for about 2 months.
So that's husband speak for. If I'd have just listened to my wife and went when she told me to go initially, it would have been fine.
This is true.
That's really what that whole little segment was.
So yeah, so
He
nothing
who
bad
findeth
happened.
the wife findeth a very good thing. Yes,
So
he
nothing
does.
bad happened to me. It's just I had an infection,
And he almost died.
and I didn't know because she's right. I am stubborn. I'm like every day I get up, I'm like, oh, I'll be better tomorrow, and tomorrow, and tomorrow, and it just never got better. And finally, I gave in and said, okay,
Who paid medical bills? So Deandra, because we're in Mexico, the ICU bill, it's not like insurance. This is not America.
Nah.
As an American, y'all can go to emergency room, get taken care of, go home and be fine. You don't have to pay a single penny. Here, when you guys, if you travel and there's an emergency, you have to pay that emergency in cash or they won't take care of it.
Yeah, so I was sitting down bad, and
You'll
I needed 2 pints of blood, and it's like you got to pay for it before we give you the blood.
Yeah, I had to
so
pay for every service.
We're sitting there waiting, and so then we paid for it.
Yeah.
And then she had to go
and
travel.
I had to go get the blood.
And then remember, because you're in another country, and this is a long conversation, but sometimes it's a liquidity issue because you might have a whole bunch of money in a bank account, but it takes some time to get it to Mexican pesos. But they want their money right now. So they're like, well, we need to be paid now. Basically, what she's saying is if you didn't have the money for the blood transfusion, they would have just sent you home to die.
Yeah, we're in Mexico. Come on, Deandra. You just go ahead and email me and we'll talk about it.
Yeah.
Show you around. If you come to Mexico City, I'll meet you wherever you're staying. We'll show you around. We'll even, I'm not sure what you're interested in, but if it's shopping or food, if you are into cryptocurrency, we're just in the Bitcoin and precious metals. I don't even deal with the other stuff anymore.
In Mexico
we can
City,
take you to meetups, whatever it is you like, love. You just message us.
Mexico City's crazy for history. So.
Oh, and I don't know where you live, Deandra, but Mexico City is basically Manhattan, 1990s. So the city developer for Mexico City is the same city developer for Manhattan. So the different areas even kind of match, like Polanco's the Upper East Side, Condesa, Soho, right? If I started to say that Tacubaya is Midtown Manhattan, because I'm a native New Yorker. So when we moved here, I learned Mexico City like this. Once I realized, like this is just Manhattan.
Yeah, if you go to,
I learned it like that.
If you look it up, it's a place called Tepito, and we have a YouTube video when we're in Tepito. Tepito is the Bronx, New York. So check it out. Check out Tepito, Mexico. It's the Bronx.
White Plains Road.
Yeah, that's what it's
without the elevated train over it. But we'll talk about that another day, my New Yorkers. So she's interested in Oaxaca. There's a lot of Black people in Oaxaca. I think you have a great time there. We live close to Mexico City, so Oaxaca's like 6 hours away.
Yeah.
But that's earthquake central. So if you've never been in an earthquake, I do not suggest that you go to Oaxaca because it's going to scare the shit out of you. Merida is southern Mexico. Very hot.
Reverse. Merida is northern by the Gulf. Remember?
Merida? I thought it was, am I thinking of Yucatan?
Yucatan is northern by the Gulf. Oaxaca southern.
Yeah. Okay. But Merida hot as hell.
Yeah, it is.
It's very hot, Deandra. So if you don't like heat, like Florida heat, like Arizona heat, then I would give that a second.
And who are we talking to? Because chop it up with us because
that's Deandra. She's
Deandra. Okay, chop it up with us because this. It depends on your situation whether you come in.
She's just visiting.
I'm saying like if you
Gun Hill Road.
That's okay. Yeah, if you bring your whole family, there's a different way you see Mexico. If you're coming single, anywhere in between, there's different places we would say, well, you might want to check this place out. Check this place out. Like I said, we live in the mountains. We live in a hacienda, I guess, which is a farm or a ranch. It's kind of boring. So a lot of people wouldn't like it, but it's just us as a family. But if you're coming single, you might want a different experience. So then maybe you want Mexico City. You want Oaxaca, right? You want...
She's from Houston. Oh, she's from H-Town.
Oh, you from Houston?
You should be used to all of that.
Oh, shout out to Houston. One of my best friends lives in Houston.
And she's used to heat is the point is what she's saying.
He's from Sharpstown. So shout out to Sharpstown, Houston. if you're familiar with that place.
Okay, so Barzayah Judah want to know what rent looks like. Everybody on the chat, listen closely. We live in a 6-bedroom.
7.
Oh, you count that back room?
She forget that bedroom back there.
Okay, so 7 bedrooms. But actually, I wasn't even, so it's really 8 bedrooms because the bedroom and the utility room, but it don't have windows, which is why I don't like to call it a bedroom. But 8 bedrooms, 9 baths. We have 2 living rooms, a den. What am I missing? And a basement, right? It comes, so we don't pay for Wi-Fi, we don't pay for electricity, we don't pay for water. It comes with a 2018 Pathfinder that seats 9, because you know we have 4 sons. How much do y'all think we pay in rent every month? Gonna blow y'all mind wide open, and you're gonna be like, that's why they're there.
And it comes with acreage.
And we live on 2.5 hectares. Is that how you say it?
Which is 10 acres, I believe.
2.5 hectares of land.
And
I have 7 puppies, 2 dogs. We have 4 sheep, 3 baby lambs, because we just had that lamb when the puppies were born.
3 cows.
We have 3 cows and 2 calves.
Do we have any chickens anymore?
I'm scared of chickens. We ain't got no chickens. Okay. We don't have ducks. And I don't like pigs. Ugh. Okay, on our property. $2,000? Are you crazy? $2,000? Hell no, we don't pay $2,000.
You tripping?
We pay about $1,450 a month for that big ass Spanish colonial on 2.5 hectares of land with all of those animals and the Pathfinder. And keep in mind that includes the Pathfinder, the insurance, and the maintenance.
Yeah, and also on top of that, if you check out a couple of our older shows, we went down to the market and we bought some healthy green vegetables.
On our channel, you guys will see, and then I do the financial equivalent to how much, because I'm really into the plant life. I still eat chicken, not a lot of it, and lots of fish. I do lots of fish, so you guys can see what we mean. Nah, what's that at in Texas? Hella money. That's why we don't live in the United States anymore. But it's a Spanish colonial. This house is 6,850 square feet equivalent.
So there's a man.
You're not going to get that in the United States. But we live in rural Mexico. Like, let me make that clear, right? So it's not like I live in Mexico City. Mexico City is going to have more United States equivalent market rates, because that's where all of the U.S. citizens and the UK citizens, or I should say European citizens, but the UK more than anybody, that's where they're going. So you're going to see more $2,000, $3,000 a month rent. We do live in rural Mexico. I live an hour and a half outside of Mexico City, but we do have a car. So keep that. It's like living in the sticks in Texas. Yeah, that $4 million mansion's beautiful, right?
It's always
and then you go to California, that $4 million house is a 2-bedroom, 3-bath, something. Right. It's still straight though. We love it, and that's why we're here.
Well,
yes, the house came with a 2018 Pathfinder, because the owner, who was trying to get us to come and stay forever, knew that we had a large family, so he didn't want that to be the break. He didn't want that to break the deal, because you need a car.
Yeah, understand, out here there is no access to Uber.
I'm gonna be y'all neighbor. Come on, Michael.
Any rideshare apps. So if you don't have a vehicle out here, you can't move around. We have to walk so far
just to get a taxi.
Just to flag down a taxi. So you have to have a vehicle.
Yeah, come on down. So our income, so like everybody should, we do have several streams of income. So it's a great question, Chadwick. A lot of the income comes from the crypto that my husband maintains. And as his wife, as his helpmeet, I have a lot more corporate opportunity to pull in streams of income for him to then transform and invest in the crypto.
Hold on. I'm going to keep it real, but I'm going to keep it. She don't want to say that she's some kind of high-ranking executive at a tech firm. She don't like to say the firm she works for. She don't like to say her rank.
Right.
She don't even like to say her name as much. She papered up. Don't let her
Well, like
trip
I
you
said,
out.
as
Don't
it's
let her
helped
trip
me,
you
what
out.
I do is I focus on bringing in the income, because as Black women, let's be honest, we have a lot of opportunities in corporate America. So I focus on bringing in the income. I do some side projects and stuff in order to bring some side income, and then he takes that income and he focuses on the capital gains and all of that from it. Putting it dollar cost averaging it, growing it. So, like for instance, y'all know the economy is crap. So this year I didn't get a raise, and we got a raise, but it wasn't much of a raise. I think it was like 2.5%. Last year I got an 8% raise, so that's a big, huge difference. So I go to my husband. They had, and the thing is, when the raise time came, we just had hella layoffs. So it was kind of like, don't y'all dare complain about not getting raises, because,
It could have been you.
X number of people, I think it was like 6% of the workforce or something, got laid off. So y'all be quiet. I'm sure they did that on purpose. But I went to my husband crying, like, hey, I didn't get the raise I wanted to last year. And he's like, okay, I'll make a raise for you. And I make sure the streams of income go that way. He creates the raise. After we moved into a certain income bracket,
Tax
you
bracket.
don't get, I'm sorry, tax bracket, you don't get refunds anymore, because y'all know we got hella kids.
So
So I cried to him about that a couple of years ago. And he said, you want me to give you the equivalent of tax return? Yes, please. So he takes the income, and like we said, we put it into Bitcoin, and it grows its gains, and he's able to uh, create the same things we rely on external factors for, but now I can rely on it internally. And this is why we're talking to you guys about Bitcoin and how it can change your life, the way you work, and the amount of effort, energy, and spirit you are putting into whatever you do day to day. Right? What I do from 9 to 5 has nothing to do with my spiritual journey with the Holy One.
yeah,
Am I grateful for it? Yes. Am I going to have faith in the little he gave me there? Yes. I'm going to create as much as I can with it? Yes. But I don't want it to turn into, now I have to get a second one of those, and it's taking me away from my spiritual journey, from my study, from our prayer time, so on and so forth.
And so I would have loved to have a longer conversation with the captain. We got to respect his time. He is a busy man, and we'll get with him again. And
Barza, yeah,
definitely.
Judah, you are welcome to reach out to us anytime
Always.
you like.
Always
And
and anytime.
like we said, Mexico gives you the equivalent lifestyle of the United States. Notice I use the word equivalent, meaning one thing about US people, and I don't think you guys should fall into this category with the amount of discipline we see in the nation. But one thing you are going to have to give up is certain conveniences, right?
Oh, there we go.
And it's called a choice and a trade-off.
So she is exactly right. So choices and trade-offs.
Right.
When you come to places like this, you will give up conveniences for things that you need. And you can't let the convenience that you gave up or lost be the thing that makes you quote unquote homesick.
That breaks it.
Because we've seen people get homesick over stupid stuff.
Chipotle. We've seen people pack their house up, go back to the United States because there's no cheesecake. Well, there is a cheesecake factory, but there's no Chipotle. You can't get certain cereals. And I was trying to explain to them, you cannot get those cereals in Mexico because those cereals have chemicals in them that are not good for you. And the president won't allow us citizens. First of all, he's not going to import that shit in here. And he doesn't allow us citizens to consume those things that will make them sick.
And remember, one of the biggest pushbacks against going to another place is the language barrier, right? Mm-hmm. People are we've hosted scared. People and they've come down here. We've seen how scared they are because they don't know the language. Mm-hmm. And so that's always scary. I talk to Black people in the United States mm-hmm. all the time, and they're scared of coming to learn Spanish. And one of the things they like to do is go to Belize. And I have no problem going to Belize.
Which is right next door, for those of you who don't know that.
Yeah, but their native language is English. So they're more comfortable going there and they can use the dollar. Also scary is the currency, right? Because you always got to calculate.
It looks different. Where's your wallet, baby?
I got to calculate how much. So this is 5,000 pesos. And you always try to calculate this stuff until it becomes
So the
memberships.
currency looks different for
It's
those of you who've
colorful.
never been to Mexico.
It's colorful.
So
as
you
shit.
have this. It is the second largest denomination.
You never come across that other.
The 1,000 peso bill, I know.
never
You've
see
got
it.
this. They're all different colors. They're different sizes.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's madness.
But everything here is significantly cheaper. And what we do is we take our disposable income and we take our disposable income and we invest that instead of squander it.
And then you also get an investment, and this might be hitting with people too much information at one time. That's why I say hit us up and we'll go over this stuff slowly. We also deal with actual real life Forex investing because we are being paid in the US dollar, but we are spending our money in Mexican pesos. And so we always every day check what's the dollar to peso ratio, right? So you know the right day to take your dollars out. Go get what you're gonna get. And we've had an arbitrage, right, for 8 years. And that's what we've been telling people, go get an arbitrage.
And arbitrage just means finding a financial opportunity.
Yes.
That's really what arbitrage means. And it's investment vernacular is really what it is. How is the education system here? So Chadwick, we're the tribe of Judah. I don't know what to tell you other than we educate our own children. They've been homeschooled since 2014, because we don't want them running around with the world either. We moved here in 2017, but we've been homeschooling our children since 2013, 2014, so that we can have a nice integrated system with them and not allow too much of the world's influence to corrupt them, if that makes sense. Now, I know we probably sound like a crazy family. We're not, I promise.
Yeah, so
we're not. But we just had a vision for our children
as young black men.
As young black men. We have 4 sons, so we really wanted to do something different. We do a lot of conscientious parenting, which is a little bit different, obviously, than how our parents raised us. So I have no idea what the education system is like. And it's like even the U.S. educational system, I wouldn't want my children integrated in.
And you know, the ironic thing is our eldest son, Sean, who's 22, 23, that age range.
23, be 23 in December.
Okay, so he's a professor at the local university of English.
Which is funny, right?
And business communications.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So he teaches business communications to the young corporate kids at the college, and he teaches English to, I think, a wide variety from school age to adult at that school.
Yeah. So he's
is at the university.
He's a very smart young man, and he does what he does, and he's gonna go marry somebody from the tribe of Issachar. So I said that's bad. What's that dude was saying?
Who?
It's above me now.
It's above me now. Yeah, it's above us now. But any other questions in the chat for us that we could run through real quick? But we were just telling you that understand that where you get a huge opportunity here, understand that you're giving up something here. And to me, the convenience is worth giving up, right? Where I live, I have a truck. I don't need Lyft. I don't need Uber. So if I don't have it, fine. But that also means we don't have DoorDash. Now, they have restaurants that will deliver to your home. So it's not a big super deal. But as a mother of a large family, I cook about 6 days out of 7.
And what I would like to do, I would have to talk to the captain about this, but I would like to chop. What's that?
Deandra said her son is 2. Go ahead. I think around the same age.
I would like to chop up some history game with the captain about the history of Mexico, because it still is the tribe of Issachar and how it merged. And we can talk about the Aztecs or the Mexicans and
Mexicas.
all the way down, because that's a good conversation.
Deandra, I don't have to smuggle you in. Just email us and we will set up when you're coming. I'll pick you up from the airport in the Pathfinder and we'll show you around
Who's that,
Mexico.
Deandra?
Yeah, she ready to come.
Oh, tell her go over there through.
What is the strategy for investing Bitcoin? So Maxwell, I'm not sure. Are you familiar with dollar cost averaging? Let me know if that's something you're familiar with. If you are familiar with it, we don't have to explain it, but we just dollar cost average our way into Bitcoin. It's discipline,
So
consistency.
I can explain a little bit. Deandra, come through across Tijuana.
Don't do that. Don't listen to him, Deandra. Don't you do that. You fly into Mexico City
She
Airport.
gonna get like
No, don't do that. Come into Mexico City Airport.
I'm sorry, I'm joking. Dollar cost averaging. So what does dollar cost
He
averaging
said he's
mean?
familiar with dollar cost averaging.
Okay, so that's perfect. It just smooths out the volatility.
Mm-hmm. So if you say like, hey, I got $1,000 I would like to put into Bitcoin, I'm gonna figure out the formula for it, but I'm gonna dollar cost average that in for however long I'm gonna do it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we do. So the other thing that's important, and this is for everybody, is always have a plan for your income, but always have a plan set up for unplanned income, right? Every now and then, the Most High will absolutely bless you and you'll get a lump sum of money out of nowhere or an opportunity to get your hands on a lump sum of money. If you have that plan going from it doesn't fly through your fingers.
Yeah.
Right? If you have that plan from Jump Street, if I ever get an unplanned lump sum of money, I know upfront that I'm going to dollar cost average 70% of whatever it is into Bitcoin.
Yeah. So for my brother who said that earlier, like we said, we're not financial advisors, but if you are adept in investing in things like that, you know how to do it. You know how to do what you got to do, because you might see a price of Bitcoin that you feel comfortable moving everything in instead of spreading it out.
Yes.
And so if you are at that level, you go ahead and handle it. But the thing about Bitcoin is there's a acronym, NGU, number go up. Yeah. It's going to go up. I don't know any Bitcoin investors who've lost money, except the people who sell. They don't know. We've been in this since $250, $200, something like that. So you just wait a little while, you make a ton of money.
We've been in Bitcoin since $250.
I didn't even know how to buy it back then.
We've been married for 24 years. We have 2 out of 4 of our children are adults. He be making me feel old every day. I've been with him since I was 19 years old, y'all. I'm 43 years old. I just feel so old when he start running numbers.
Nah, because
we've been doing shit for just a long time.
And and we're big on Bitcoin, but we also talk about silver and gold.
Yeah, because we do precious metals.
And there's a physical, metaphysical, and spiritual level to those things, especially gold and silver. So those are big things too. A lot of people have problems with gold and silver because they feel like the return on investment isn't as high as crypto.
Here come Jake. I bet you cousin Jake typing right now.
He gonna show me
typing right now.
He about to show me an XRP chart. But
soon as that flew out your mouth, Jake was like,
but, you still need this is different.
It still has a utility.
It's different things we go into, because when you get outside the country, and if you all are trying to get off the grid, I don't know if that's something that you're into, but if you're trying to get off the grid, you definitely need physical precious metals as you're off the grid. We're off the grid.
Y'all seen the post-apocalyptic movie where nobody wants your dollars and you got to barter to get something to eat or do something. We are looking at a time now where that EMP is a huge threat to the United States, and they're holding it over your head every single day. Yeah. For y'all who have Alexa and all of these in-home AI gadgets, they're all telling the same narrative that on some day in 2025, central United States is going to be off, like the electricity is going to go out because of an EMP pulse, and it's going to be chaos. You just want to be ready just in case they do some dumb shit like that.
Yes.
And know that it would be an inside job.
And oh man, this gets long, but we hear it. If people
Do
hear,
you
we
wish you would have went all in? Yes, Jake, we do. We didn't really know what we was doing back then. He said, "Don't you wish you went all in when it was 250?" We didn't know what it was.
Of course
back
I
then.
do. Of course I do.
So
Not because
Deandra loves
it was just
gold.
dangerous. Like I said, it was cowboy country back then, and you had to try to protect some of your money.
Let me go get some.
So I was still dealing with traditional stocks, and you would deal with the FANG stocks, right? What are the FANG stocks? Facebook, Amazon, Netflix, Google. I'm missing one, right? And so you kept those stocks, and Bitcoin seemed really risky. And looking back on it, if I would have took the capital that I had in those FANG stocks and put them in Bitcoin, of course, it would have been way better. But we didn't know. I was going off of the information that I studied and stuff that I understood. But knowing now, I just go all in. I just go all in now. I don't even care. I got some Netflix and what's the other one I got? The Amazon. I got a few of those, but yep. If I would have known Jake, I would have definitely gone all in. And hindsight is 2020 on some of that stuff. But here's the thing: we didn't lose it, right? Because there's a lot of people back in the day, and they still out here who telling you how to trade options and do all this shit and lose money. And I'm like, man, if y'all don't stop, what you? She done came. What did she done came with? What's this?
I done came up.
What she
I
done
put
came
my
with?
life on the line. So for the silver people, this is like an ASC, like we do.
American Silver Eagle.
I don't know why I didn't say that.
Okay.
But you definitely want to get your hands on some.
This is the one without the silver eagles.
Deandra says she likes gold, so this is the gold numismatic. 1 ounce gold numismatic. She says she likes gold, and we got the little Bitcoin joint in gold.
This over there, yeah. So these are good.
But y'all can buy precious metals on atmex.com. That's where we get ours from.
Remember, Deanna, from a technical standpoint, you got to check out the gold to silver ratio. Right now, it's about 1 to 85, 1 to 84. And you want to buy silver until it gets about 1 to 40. And then you want to turn your silver into gold. And from 1 to 40, it'll run back up. This is not investing advice,
no,
but
it's not.
Just understand the gold to silver ratio. So check that out. You can look up the gold to silver ratio, and they'll give you the great
Just
breakdown
Google
on that.
it.
Yeah, they'll give you the great breakdown.
Okay, for my Israelites.
What's that?
It's the Hanging Gardens of Babylon. Why we bought it, I don't know. But this is 10 shekels for all my biblical people. Right? Because y'all know I needed something kind of sort of biblical, and this was all they had. So this is 10 shekels. This is the equivalent to 10 shekels. And this is the Hanging Gardens of Babylon. Well, we know what Babylon turned into, but I did want something a little bit biblical when I read my Bible. And I read, they gave 25 shekels of this and stuff like that. Which do you prefer, the dollar cost average in stock or Bitcoin? Bitcoin for sure. Should I start with jewelry? No jewelry. Deandra, email us.
Yeah, talk to us, Deandra.
Not jewelry. Jewelry is it's completely different.
No, because I'll just give you a quick rundown on jewelry. What they'll do is they'll give you a thing. It's called melt. Value.
It's different.
So it just means whatever you got, we can melt it down to be, say, 5 ounces, and that's what we're gonna pay you. And you're like, well, I paid so and so for this. Well, when we melt it down, it's worth 5 ounces of silver. So don't mess with jewelry too much if you want it to be an investment.
And like a lot of your fancy coins will come with a certificate to tell you exactly what you have, and it also allows you to resell it. And I'm not just talking to Deandra; she's the one who asked the question, but it'll tell you exactly what this is. This is the tribe of Dan, y'all. No, I'm dead serious. This is the tribe of Dan.
A Viking?
Right, the Viking. They're the tribe of Dan. And you can see this is when they were going to get their inheritance up Laish.
Who is it? Let me
Fact
see.
check me, it's the Axeman.
Oh, the Axeman. Oh,
but,
yeah.
This is the tribe of Dan. So y'all know we really do be on our Bible
and
stuff
so,
for real.
And I'll go in a little bit harder on this. as an investment. You see this right here. It's great. It's a great piece. I believe.
But it was made in Cameroon, which is okay.
Yeah, that's because that's what the gold is.
And it's worth 3,000 francs.
So what this is called, some of the people call it art mint.
Yes, art mint.
So it's art mint, and the thing about it is it has a value because there's a limited supply. And I believe it said it on that thing.
It's 250.
250, something like that.
250 pieces.
So,
and then your certificate will tell you all of
so
that.
only 250 of these were ever minted. And that makes it valuable because it has a level of scarcity. And we didn't go into the Bitcoin scarcity and all that stuff. And we always got time, let us know. But this is a scarce asset. And it is very valuable. And, I don't know.
Over here.
No,
So that's all we're saying. Again, we don't sell anything. I'm not selling you
never.
anything. We get our stuff from atmex.com, which is American Precious Metals Exchange.com. They're assets, they're physical assets. This is the same as if you had rental properties. So instead of me having liability on my hands, I have an asset up front that we can hold on. All of this big old bag you see here, this is for our children. It's really for our grandchildren because we can support our children in their lifetime. An evil man doesn't have an inheritance for his children. That's biblical.
Where does that come from?
Proverbs, likely. I ain't Captain Tazaryach where I know exactly where it is, but I know it.
I ain't mean to call you.
And then again, we get our Bitcoin gold, Deandra, because you said you like gold. So all of our gold has the Bitcoin on it and ode to Bitcoin.
Yeah, so it's dope.
What Bitcoin cold hardware wallet would you recommend?
Well, so shout out to my homie, the chief. He's gonna say a Trezor wallet, right? Or a Nano Ledger. Both of them, right?
Mm-hmm.
He has both. So a Nano Ledger and a Trezor, Trezor wallet. And so what I think, because I think it's user interface issue as far as what you've seen that works best for you. They are different, but it depends on what works for you. But Nano Ledger is always the beast. That's out there, Nano Ledger.
Very intriguing. We love this information, brother and sister. Facts. So you guys want the email. I'm going to give it to you right now because it's a link. It won't post. So it's assets, 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 .arbitrage. So AR as in Rachel, BIT as in Tom, RAGE, right? At gmail.com. That is the email address. Hey, Cryptonomics. Oh, Cryptonomics is also a huge proponent in silver and in gold. So he loves precious metals as well.
Yeah.
Barza, I hope you got the email address.
Yeah, please email us now so that we can get it and we can go over it and see what's
I'm going to say the email again very slow. I'm sorry, Omar. So it's assets dot arbitrage, ARBITRAGE at gmail.com. We answer every single email.
Yeah.
And like I said, when this posts, the drop down is going to have all of that in it. So if you just wait for it to post tonight or maybe tomorrow. Is there anything else you want to show them real quick?
We got some.
But we gotta go because Sean he's got his client.
We got customized coins and weird stuff, but
they come in. It's the silver. It looks like a little credit card, right? Obviously, it's all. Oh no, it's got an actual number on it, but not a real number.
But don't have to,
right?
Shit.
So this is silver. So you can get like silver gifts. This is gold $100 bill. I had a silver one. I don't know where it is.
I gave it to.
Oh, we gave it to somebody as a gift.
I gave it to somebody as a gift.
That's right. We gave it to Kevin.
So, and another thing, I'm just saying for people out there,
gold. This is a gold.
Gold is
an American gold eagle.
Gold and silver are great gifts. Sometimes you have people and you're like, man, I don't know what to give that person. Graduation. What else? Quinceañera, whatever you get.
For the tribe of Issachar, the quinceañera is a great gift.
Just give somebody some silver. We went not too long ago to a was it a what do you call it?
What?
When the baby's born, what's that called?
Oh, we were christening.
Christening, and we gave him silver. So silver is a great gift. It's also a great gift. It's a great investment to lead the people.
So the website is atmex.com. Deandra, I definitely want to reach. I want you to reach out to me when you get a chance.
Put that there.
I feel like we're gonna be good friends. My husband loves the Super Bowl, so I had to get him a little Super Bowl gift. What Super Bowl was this?
So that's Super Bowl from 2020, I think, 2020? Or 2021.
Might be 2021. That's number 348.
So these are the official coins that they use to flip at the Super Bowl. Called heads or tail. And
now this is from Highland Mint. It's not from Atmex.
They're low mintage. Every Super Bowl coin would be the number of the Super Bowl. So it's probably 2021 coins minted every year. So I get a coin every year. Low mintage. You had to understand when you get silver coins, low mintage coins have scarcity, and
that's what makes them valuable.
That's what makes it valuable.
This is
and a lot of people will tell you, go out there and get those coins, American Silver Eagles, Canadian Maple Leaves, Krugerrands, all these things, and they're right too.
So here we go. Since everybody's asking, we get it from atmex.com. There we go. That's the address right there. www.atmex.com. Sorry if you said that. No. You're all right, sweetheart. You're all right. I know you're on and off calls, but we're gonna get off because our son has to
do some work or something.
He's got a business client at this time, and he needs this laptop. So there we go. Atmex.com. www.atmex.com. Best freaking advertisement ever. We don't even have a discount code with them.
That's
I should.
The refiner, but we'll go in
that. We love you guys, and we will hopefully see a lot of you guys when we come back live on Friday.
Yes,
bye.
And we're gonna get back with the captain. And we'll